Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar on New York e-filing as part of the Industry Insight series. Our speakers today are Natasha Malinsky and Ben Ree. Natasha is a boutique law firm practice management specialist with LEAP. Natasha has been assisting small law firms throughout the state of New York for several years. She understands the struggles of running a business and enjoys working with other small businesses to increase efficiency and profitability. Ben is the Vice President of Product at Infotrac, an e-filing software solution. He has also served as litigation counsel for ARDC, the Attorney Registration and Disciplinary Commission of the Supreme Court of Illinois, investigating and prosecuting attorneys for professional misconduct. He received his JD cum laude from Loyola University Chicago School of Law. The presentation today will be followed by a Q&A. Please enter your questions into the question box in the webinar panel on the right side of your screen. All questions will be addressed at the end of the presentation. We are recording this webinar and we will be sending the video in a follow-up email in a few days. We will also post the video on our blog at www.lawtechnologytoday.org. Thank you all for joining us. We'll now begin the webinar.
Hi, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to our New York e-filing webinar brought to you by LEAP Legal Software and Infotrac. In this webinar, we're going to cover the basics of e-filing in New York, including best practices and how using technology like LEAP's integration with Infotrac can simplify the e-filing process for your firm. Thank you, Gabby, for the intro. As Gabby mentioned, my name is Natasha Malinsky. I am a LEAP boutique law firm specialist, and Infotrac's VP product, Ben Ree, is also leading the webinar as well. I have been visiting dozens of New York-based small law firms each week since I started with LEAP a few years ago. Prior to joining LEAP, I actually worked in the entertainment industry as a real estate agent and as a small business owner. Having run my own businesses in various industries for many years, I truly understand the challenges that small law firms face with organization, operations, and efficiency. You know, running a business without the proper tools in place is a true make or break for the business. And I'm excited to introduce you to LEAP today and the power of our Infotrac integration so you can better assess how this setup can increase efficiency and profitability for your practice. Ben, would you like to go ahead and do an intro?
Sure, thanks, Natasha. Again, yes, my name is Ben Ree. I'm the VP of Product at Infotrac, and I help lawyers and law firms e-file as well as perform other legal services efficiently using integration with leading case management systems such as LEAP. And now, prior to joining Infotrac, I was a general counsel and product manager of another case management system company. I did work for the disciplinary counsel in Illinois, and I've practiced in Ohio doing criminal, family, and probate areas of law. And I'm really happy to be here to share with you a few tips about e-filing after Natasha goes through LEAP with you.
Thank you so much, Ben. So I'd like to just briefly introduce you guys to LEAP today. We are the only all-in-one case management solution for small law firms. We are the largest provider globally. We have 13,000 firms, and we've been providing software for small law firms for over 28 years. We are the only provider for small law firms in New York to offer the nuts and bolts of case management, along with content that's specific to your firm, like e-filing to the courts, New York specific matter types, and New York specific forms. With LEAP, firms can eliminate multiple disconnected systems and have access to everything they need to run the firm in one central location. Client and matter management, a complete automated forms library specific to New York, email integration, so incoming and outgoing emails automatically copy to the client matter, document management, office accounting such as billing, invoicing, and disbursements, IOLA compliant trust accounting, and a mobile app, which allows you to manage your entire firm anytime, anywhere. So Ben, why don't you give a brief intro now to Infotrac, if you don't mind?
Sure. Now, Infotrac offers services such as e-filing, and we offer e-filing into the New York Supreme Courts as well as the surrogate courts. But we also provide other services such as 1099-S services, title reports, business formations, and other corporate services as well as due diligence services. The key to our services is that it's integrated, which means that we plug into your case management system to help you reduce redundant data entry. We keep all your info in one place and basically creates a seamless workflow. So you can start in one place, such as using Leap, and go throughout your entire workflow and have it all captured back, as well as your costs and expenses, all captured back into your case management system so that your billing reconciliation and all your other record keeping is all in order.
Thanks so much, Ben. So in our agenda today, we're going to cover the following key points: mandatory e-filing for New York, e-filing rules, NICEF counties, using technology, boosting productivity with e-filing integration. We'll also be doing a Leap mini demo and an Infotrac e-filing demo. So I'm going to go ahead into the Leap demo.
Hi, Natasha. I think you're muted, so we can't hear you.
Oh, thank you, Ben.
Yep.
All right. So when you first open Leap, you have a list of all of your matters. You can see that it's very easy to filter your matters. For example, you can look at matters that you've recently viewed or matters by their accounting status. Also, up in the search field, you can type in the matter type, the client name, or the description. There's also in Leap, there's an advanced search as well as a property search. So whatever it is that you're looking for, there are multiple ways to locate it quickly. Let's say, for example, your client calls and you need to quickly locate their electronic matter. You just type in their name, double click, and the system will locate the electronic matter for you. So this is what we call the electronic matter. It's the equivalent to your manila folder. It is where you keep all of the information and documents relating to the matter. On the left side of the screen, you have all your client and matter information. And it is this data that provides a platform for you to accurately manage the matter and produce documents. On the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see all the documents relating to the matter: letters, faxes, PDFs, scanned items, and both incoming and outgoing emails. You're going to find that once you start using Leap, that you won't have to get that manila folder every time, for example, when a client calls, because you have all of the facts and all of the documents at your fingertips. Now, at the top of the matter, you have additional information about the matter: critical dates, time and fees, office accounting, as well as trust accounting. I'll come back to those tabs shortly. Below that is the Leap toolbar. It's extremely user-friendly. I'll come back to this shortly as well. Now, on the left-hand side, you'll see that client information is entered into what we call a client card. This information is retained and used for all matters relating to this client. Now, on the left-hand side, you'll see that the table types are actually relevant to the matter type that you're in. There are many different matter types pertaining to all the common areas of law available in Leap, so you can actually run all of your matters through Leap, including family law, litigation, personal injury, real estate, etc. So you can run, again, all of your matters through Leap. The importance of the matter type is that it provides you with that checklist of required information and also presents you with a complete forms library for that particular area of law. Now, on the left-hand side, you'll see that a table type, for example, in a contested divorce matter would be support details. If you're in a real estate matter, it would be property details. Motor vehicle accident, it would be incident details. So everything is customizable to the matter that you're in. By putting this information into the system, it's reused for all documents in the matter and forms part of the electronic record of the work that you've done. Now, as an attorney, one of the most important functions during your day is producing documents. The 3 documents you'll create are the forms, the one-off letter to a party, and your existing templates. So if we go into the forms and templates library, you can see that all of the family law forms are in easy-to-use organized folders. Leap has automated all of these family law forms so you can produce them with a click of a button and save hours of time of manual work rekeying in client and matter information. One which is frequently used, for example, is the verified complaint. All the forms are kept up to date by Leap. Our content team keeps them up to date. So if a form has been updated, you'll immediately get access to it the next time you open it. And as you can see, everything from the matter merged across automatically into this form. And this simple operation saves you and your staff hours of time every single month. In the Leap toolbar, it will appear on every document you open through Leap because we have a tight integration with the Microsoft Office suite of products. This is what allows the advanced document automation. In the Leap toolbar, you can actually save the document right back into the electronic matter. All you have to do is save and close. That document goes right back into the client matter with the timestamp and the initials of the creator. You may also want to produce a one-off document. So let's do the letter. You just select new letter. Your database is already there. You select your recipient. Click create. And you'll see that the data from the matter has merged across into the document in an instant. And all you have to do is type in the body. You can also automatically track the time that you spent on this document by selecting Time, Save, and Close. You have the option to amend the billing description. So for example, regarding contract, and then save and close. The time entry is going to go automatically to the time and fees tab on the matter, and the document saves to the document list. You can also easily import your existing document templates into Leap. Just go into Forms and Templates, right-click. You can import existing templates or create new templates through Word, Excel, or Outlook. By having your document templates automated in Leap, you save time rekeying in client and matter information, and you also minimize the risk from copying and pasting into old document templates. So lawyers obviously rely on written communications a lot, but we also have some cool modern features in Leap to communicate with your clients. By right-clicking on any of the cards on the left-hand side, you have various menu options. So you can call your client, automatically have the call pick up on your mobile. You can also send an SMS to your client or another party on the matter. On the right-hand side, there are several ways to make managing your matter documents easy. A right-click presents you with a variety of options. You can view the history of changes to the document. This is really useful if you're drafting, for example, an agreement. You can also compare two documents, two versions of the same document side by side two documents in different matters or compare a document outside of LEAP. If you need to compile several documents into one PDF, it's easy to do. You just select the documents, right-click, select Create Combine PDF. So you can adjust the order of the documents through the arrows, rename the PDF, click Create, and that PDF file will automatically save to your matter in LEAP. Lastly, it's very easy to sort your documents into folders. So whatever folder structure you'd like to have within the matter, you can drag and drop into those folders. You can also create new folders as well. We also have the comments feature in LEAP. This is really great for phone calls, case updates, internal notes to staff. Once you spoke to a client, for example, you just type spoke to client, provided an update. You can timestamp and date the comment, have other staff members come in and add additional comments on the thread. They can timestamp and date that. You can also view the timer on the comment as you work, and you can time record for the comment once complete. Just click Time, Save, and Close. If you want to notify someone in the firm, you just select their name from the menu, save and close. The comment is saved against the matter, and they'll receive a notification pop up on their screen. Now, one of the main benefits of LEAP is having all of your documents and correspondence stored electronically in the one place. Of course, you're going to get stuff that comes in the mail, incoming correspondence, or anything that sits outside of LEAP can easily be imported. You can import documents or entire folders, and you can also scan a document as well. Now, Outlook is very unstructured in terms of email storage. LEAP, on the other hand, organizes all emails into the correct matter, so it's very easy in a small office for you to work collaboratively. To send an email with an attachment, you simply right-click and share. You can change a Word document to a PDF as you're emailing it. You just select PDF and email. This will open up a matter-specific address book for you. You can type in the to field, or you can add from this address book. You simply select the recipient. Click OK. You'll see that the subject merged across, the document merged. You have the option to add additional documents from the matter you're working on as attachments. Once you're through drafting this email, you can save the draft and send it later. You can time record and send the email, so you can track the time, or send like normal. Your email will automatically save into the matter. The great thing about LEAP is that with every email you send, it has a hidden tag at the bottom, so any replies to your matter will automatically be captured against your matter in LEAP, as well as in Outlook. All you need to do is send that initial email from LEAP, work out of Outlook like normal, and then you'll have peace of mind that all of your replies and their replies will automatically save to the correct matter in LEAP. You will also, of course, receive emails throughout the day, and you can easily add these to the matter. All you have to do is go back into Outlook, open up the email, and there's a special button to save it back to the matter. You can also automatically track the time that you spent reading and reviewing the email by selecting Add Time Entry. Now, LEAP actually integrates with Infotrac to enable you to order all of your e-filing, property, court, and corporate services from your matter in LEAP. So you no longer have to log on to separate websites. To see a list of available searches and services, you simply select Searches and Services, and this will take you into the Infotrac portal. And from here, I'm going to let Ben take over. I will just say that this demonstration showed only a small portion of the functionality available in Leap. We also have a full billing functionality, office accounting, IOLA compliant trust accounting, extensive firm reports, as well as integration with QuickBooks Online. All right, so Ben, I'll go ahead and have you take.
Okay, great. Thanks, Natasha. Thanks for going over that. There's so much more to Leap than what she's covered. I really strongly suggest that you get a closer look at it. But I'm going to go into integrated e-filing. So let me get a control of the computer here. So why integrated e-filing? Integrated really means that we plug into, like kind of a plug and play into your case management system, and we help you reduce redundant data entry. So because it's an all-in-one solution, it will minimize your risk and become more efficient and effective for your entire office. I mean, the reason your firm uses case management is to be organized, to have everything in one place. So you're not looking at all different places. You're not trying to remember different logins and passwords to go to different websites, but you can integrate and have everything launched from one place and have all that information actually come back into one place as well. So let me go into a little bit more about New York e-filing. So in New York, out of the 62 counties, 44 of them are live with some type of e-filing. Now, of the 44 counties, they have some mandatory case types and some that are considered consensual. Now, it's not going to be long before all 62 counties are live on e-filing, so this is really the best time to get started and get the right systems in place. Now, the Chief Judge of New York, Judge DeFiore, puts the statement out there right away that, you know, technology is critical to the courts and really to our legal industry. And it not only is it saving costs for the courts, as just imagine the amount of records they can save, record space they can save by going electronic, but it's really bringing the law to everybody, and it's making it much more easier and easier to access. And like the last sentence in our quote, it says, e-filing is the future of our court system, and we must expand thoughtfully and carefully, but also diligently, the use of this powerful tool. And it's a very powerful tool, but it's great that the state is recognizing this and advancing forward and embracing technology. Now, mandatory e-filing, just to give you a few examples here. In New York County, all case types are mandatory except for some of them, such as the Article 70 and 78, election laws, some matrimonial matters, and mental hygiene. There's Westchester County as well. There's all their cases are mandatory except for those listed here. There's about 6. And in Suffolk, there are certain cases where you have to start the case as e-filing, and some you would you can completely start as paper. So you do have to know in your county what the rules are and what type of cases you have to e-file. So I would strongly suggest you check with your county that you file in to see if a certain case type is required for e-filing. Now, really, it's important to know the rules. Under the New York Code Rules and Regulations, we have rules about mandatory e-filing as well as consensual e-filing. And there's case law coming out about procedural rules, and that's really critical to your success here. We all know civil procedure and procedural rules are very vital, and especially when we get to e-filing, it's very important to know the rules so that you don't waste client time, client funds, and you prevent mistakes. Now, some of the things that are changing with the rules of e-filing is how you do the old stuff. So let me go back here, redaction rules. Now, we still have to redact when we're on paper, but we certainly have to redact when we're in the electronic mode. Now, Now we know with new technology being implemented, some of the ways we used to work will not work with electronic, and redaction is a great example. And we know that with papers filed in court or anything filed in court, you have to redact confidential personal information. Now here's a good example of how not to redact, and there is a case I'm sure everyone's heard of with a little investigation that a special counsel, Robert Mueller, is doing against Paul Manafort. And Paul Manafort had his lawyers file a response to the special counsel submission saying that he breached his plea agreement. Well, he filed this in Pacer. And I'm assuming that Paul Manafort's got some pretty good attorneys and that they would have properly redacted. But unfortunately, and this being a very high profile case, you know that journalists and media were looking into this, in his submission there were redacted portions to the response. Now as you can see, it looks like it's redacted. But like I said, this is a high profile case, so there's a lot of people that are interested, and they're going to be looking at your pleadings, and they want to find out, if they can, what those redacted portions are. But unfortunately, Paul Manafort's lawyers didn't redact properly, and with a few simple clicks of the mouse, journalists were able to find out what the redacted areas were. So I'm going to show you how easy it is and what they probably did to find the unredacted or improperly redacted, which is simply clicking their mouse over the text on the PDF and then Control-C for copy and then pasting it in a Word document or Notepad, which will give you all the text that's hidden behind what looks like should be redacted. Now, to properly redact, you should use some type of program like Adobe Pro. There are other PDF editing software out there, but I just prefer Adobe Pro because I've used it in my practice, and it's always been very easy to use. So here, I'll just show you how it works in Adobe. And there is an actual redaction tool. In the Pro version of Adobe, you do get the tools for redaction and bait stamping. Now, if this is the actual document with Paul Manafort's information on there, when you click Mark for Redaction, it gives you a cursor and it tells you to highlight the area you want to redact. When you do that, it'll highlight it in red, and also when you hover, it turns it black. And I'll just do it to the next section as well. And now you can clearly see that red portion is going to be the redacted. And when you apply the redaction, it actually tells you it's going to remove all the content. Okay? And then it'll confirm, we did it all. So now this is properly redacted. So if someone were to go into this document, try to copy it, paste it, or do any type of metadata searching, they're not going to find the information. But what probably the Paul Manafort's lawyers did do was, which is kind of a highlight and hide. So let me show you what they might have done. So even using Adobe, you can select certain portions of your text and use a highlighter. Now, highlighted right now is in yellow, but you can change that to black. Now, the funny thing about this is when I change this to black and we change the opacity to 100%, it actually gives you a warning telling you that highlighting doesn't remove the information, and that you should actually use the redaction tools. So if they did use this method, they obviously didn't read that warning, and people were able to get the information behind the highlights. So just something to keep in mind as you start e-filing is that although what you're filing doesn't change, how you do it will, and you have to make sure you have the right tech tools to ensure your client's success. Now, I want to talk about a few more points about staying organized and using technology to do so. One of the things when you implement e-filing is that you should communicate with your staff about why you're doing it and how you're going to go about doing it. And with the how about you're going to be doing e-filing, you should write down your process. And it's important to do that because, especially in smaller firms, if a certain person is out sick or has to take a longer leave, you want to be able to bring in someone temporarily or even do it yourself and use a checklist to make sure you've hit all the marks and made sure you hit all the steps. This will really help you with any of your processes, really to write it down and make sure you have a simple and easy checklist to follow. Another suggestion I have is to make sure you check your spam and junk mail folders. And one of the ways to do that is to whitelist important email addresses. That means that you would set in, let's say, your Microsoft Outlook, set important email addresses and domains as addresses that you want to come in and not get caught by spam or junk folders. This means that you would make sure that your important client info, opposing consuls, and the clerk's office's email addresses are whitelisted so that they don't get selected in the spam and junk folders. Also, you don't want to blindly delete emails. And here's a good case out of Florida. It's called Emerald Coast Utilities Authority versus Bear Marcus Point, where the Emerald Coast Utilities attorneys failed to review their spam and junk rules and their folders and caused them to automatically delete an order that came from the clerk of the court. And then the time to appeal that order had lapsed, which caused their client, the Emerald Coast Utilities Authority, to pay over close to $1 million in attorney's fees to the other party. So a very interesting case of how technology and failure to acknowledge technology and how that can create some issues for you. And in that case, it cost them close to $1 million. The other thing I recommend is to use naming conventions. So instead of just naming things as motion to dismiss, motion for summary judgment, I like to use naming conventions. So for an example, I like to use type description client and date. This helps you organize yourself quite a bit. So let's say if I have a motion for extension of time, I use a 3-character type like MOT, and then I put in a short description, a client, and a date. Another example is if I have some type of correspondence or letter, I use LTR, what the description is, client, and date. The reason I do this is, one is to help me sort things and to find things. So if you were to sort documents, you know that it would be sorting by the first letter in the file name. Then you know all your motions will be gathered together. Also, if you are searching for a certain client, you know that it's specifically there. Also, what's important to note is that you're filing the right document. You'll find yourself as you're e-filing, what is very different from paper is that in the old days when we used to paper file, you physically have, let's say, a motion in your hand, you can see the caption, and you know exactly that the motion that you're filing is for that specific client. Now when you e-file, when you select a document and you upload it, you don't necessarily see the document. You're just relying on the fact that the file that you selected to upload into the court website is the file that you actually wanted to file. So if you have a good naming system, you'll know exactly that a motion for extension of time was for the Mendez client instead of, let's say, the Smith client. That really does help you. Here's an example in a 2006 federal case, U.S. versus Carlock. There was a defense attorney that thought he filed a notice of appeal, but in fact he filed a notice of appeal for the wrong case and a wrong client, and the court informed him of it, but then still didn't check, and therefore his client lost the opportunity to appeal his sentence. The other thing I suggest is that you really do embrace technology, and it'll really help you boost your productivity. Using case management or practice management system is pretty much a must-have these days for any size law firms. It will help you minimize your risks and definitely helps you be more efficient and effective. We're constantly bombarded with distractions. We're trying to do multiple things at the same time. And if you use a unified system wherein everything is all in one, it gives you clarity and organization to really help you focus on what you should be doing, which is practicing law and not administrative tasks. We've gotten into this world of multitasking, and really having a case management or practice management system does help you focus your energies on what needs to be done. Also, when you have multiple attorneys in your firm, it keeps everyone on the same page so that if someone is out sick or is at court, you have at least access to those documents and to the information to help your colleague or to answer when a client calls in. Now let me go in and just show you a few screenshots of how the integration with Leap works and helps you with e-filing. So this is a screen of the Leap Matter that Natasha had shown you earlier. And you know there's that little button at the top that says Searching and Services with Infotrac. If you click on that, it takes you to our services page. And that means you didn't have to log on with another logon ID and password. We save it in there and it's encrypted and you're right into our system. Now, of all the other services we have, you'll see one that says EFiling New York. If you go right into that, we'll show you the dashboard where it gives you all the cases that you're involved with, and you can sort it by case number and case type, and you can see what the statuses are. Now, the advantage of using integrated system, if I were to create a new case here and do a new filing, we have the data entry fields. Now, the advantage is that since you already typed it in once into Leap, we can import that information into your e-filing system, which means you don't make any mistakes and you don't waste time. The obvious thing about technology is that you want to save time and get rid of redundant data entry. And this is what we're doing. If you have to type it in twice, you're already losing out. Now, the other thing with minimizing risks is that we directly access the documents that are in your case management system. So here, when you're uploading the document to file into the New York courts, we actually access the documents that are on your Leap Matter. So if there's a complaint and summons you want to file, those are the two documents that are actually on the Leap Matter. So we make sure that you can't make a mistake and file the wrong document. Also, all your payments and fees. You know, it's a lot of work to go back and forth from a receipt from an email that you get from NICEF and then try to record it on a spreadsheet or trying to put it into your bookkeeping system. What we do is take that information and automatically submit it into your case management system here in Leap, and we put it right onto your accounting system. Also, what we do is download all of the case information into the Matter, so you don't have to do it yourself. We actually watch the cases for you, and then when your case filing actually gets accepted from the court, we will move the document right into the Matter, the accepted file stamp version as well, and all the other documents. So you have it locally on hand. You don't have to constantly access the court system to get to the documents. So just as a recap, when you use Infotrac and Leap, you're going to get auto-population of party information where we get rid of redundant data entry. We also do automatic PDF conversion. I forgot to mention this, but you can leave all your documents in Word format and don't have to worry about converting it and making sure it's in the right standard. We will do that for you, and we'll convert it into this court-certified standard so that you have no issues for filing. We give you direct access to the documents in your Leap Matter, so you minimize the risk of filing the wrong document. And all your expenses and costs are saved back into the Leap Matter, reducing bank reconciliation issues. And also, you can invoice your client a lot faster and get paid when you file, not 30 days later when you get a credit card statement or when you're reconciling your bank statements. And I'm going to leave you with this one little quote about technology. And it says, "To err is human, but to really file things up requires a computer." In parting, we note that the cause of this error was that Caroloc's counsel had unfortunately failed to double-check the document he had electronically transmitted to the district court. Although the modern use of the computer is a great time saver, its ease of use should not assuage the almost obsessive attentiveness that is required when filing any document with the court. Otherwise, a scenario such as Caroloc's may occur, which proves the adage that a computer lets you make more mistakes faster than any invention in human history, with the possible exceptions of handguns and tequila. And I think that's very true. You have technology that helps you work a lot faster, but you also need to have the right tools And you also need to have the right partners in your corner to make sure that you are as efficient and you're doing everything correctly to make sure your practice goes smoothly.
Looks like that is all the time we have for today. I'd like to thank our sponsor Leap and for all of you for attending our webinar, and a special thank you to Natasha and Ben for presenting today. We will now conclude the webinar.